Howdy, friends. How are you doing?
Howdy doody.
Howdy. It's Miles, it's Bob. It's the Game of No Halves.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Father?
I'm very good. I've had a haircut.
Oh, yeah.
I've taken the weight off my mind.
Yes, yeah, very good. Yeah, it is. You've gone for a stricter back and sides this time, haven't you?
Well, I've gone back to where I was because I'd let it grow for a little while.
Yeah.
But not a good look in the wind.
I suppose, yeah, now we're getting to winter as well. It's going to be a lot more windy.
Exactly. And I thought, well, I'll get it cut in the summer while it's still warm enough.
Yeah,
so that when it grows out again a little bit, by then it'll start getting to autumn. Mm-hmm. But I have to explain that the cat's around us today because little Harmony.
Yeah, cat bulletin to start the episode.
Cat bulletin, cot bulletin.
She's going behind it.
No, she got out last night. You know, she's never been out in the outside world because she's a rescue cat and she's frightened of everything. I think she's been mistreated at some point in her life. But she was out and she was out all night. And Ryman, the other cat I've got, and I went out to look for her. And we could hear her crying.
Aww.
And she was all scrunched up under a bush just outside here in the corner right by the house so nobody could see her.
Yeah.
We only knew she was there because Ryman heard her meowing and he started meowing and he actually coaxed her out.
Yeah.
But it's funny because since she's been back in the house, all of a sudden she seems a bit more confident and she's around more, Miles.
Yeah, I mean, you can maybe hear her in the background. She's meowing her head off back there.
Yes.
Wandering about. So she might be a special guest as the episode goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. She's going to have to be included in maybe she should be part of the backroom team or something.
Yes.
Harmony, I don't know. What would she be? She was a member of staff.
Harmony, I don't know, the choir leader, the team choir leader.
Yeah, she could be conducting the chants.
Yes.
From the stands. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Well, cat bulletin over for this week, ladies and gentlemen. All is well. And we left off, didn't we, Bob, from last episode? We're sort of halfway through the 2016-17 season right now.
Yes, just to do a quick recap.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking this, Miles. We start the programme, don't we? And sometimes we go straight into it.
Yeah.
And sort of pick up. But if you notice, all the sort of big shows, like Would I Lie to You, for example, Rob Brydon sits there and he goes through the rules in exactly the same way every single week. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning of the show, everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
And
well, go on then. So go for it then, Bob. Explain to everybody what this is.
Okay.
You've got 45 seconds.
45 seconds.
Go.
Okay. So 30 years ago, I began to kick a football around the house as part of my fitness regime. And as I began to kick the ball around the house, so in my head, I started to play these imaginary matches.
Yeah.
I started being a particular player when I had the ball at my feet. And not only did I do this as part of my fitness regime, but I then began to put a piece of paper on the table, write out my team, and then add scorers and comments and commentary to that piece of paper each week, and then transfer that onto my PC to create the stats.
Yeah, actually, if you're watching, by the way, right now, which you can do on YouTube every week, we've got the box of all of the statistics in front of us.
Is the result. I mean, years and years and years
so much
of stats.
Stuff. Oh my
and
God.
so we've turned that into a podcast.
Yeah, the weird and wonderful world of North London FC.
And that's what this is.
Yeah, which is where we are
right now. So we've been working our way through the seasons, and we've now arrived at...
Well, 2016-17, we're fast approaching modern day, and fast approaching the end of the statistics, aren't we, Bob? Because we're actually there's a finite amount of stats left in the box. So we're going to...
Hard to believe, but...
I know. So we might be coming to the end of the North London history at some point in the near future.
Yes, In fact, I think I've heard a whisper that we're on the penultimate show of our podcast series.
I know, we are. Yeah. So
Which doesn't mean to say that it comes to an end, but this series stops and then we'll hopefully pick up again.
Well,
in the future.
We shall see. But in terms of the North London history, we've got this episode and next week to find out how North London get on before we get to the present day, basically, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
So 2016-17 was where we left last week. So to recap, you are third in the league, 5 points off top behind Chelsea.
So the way this works is that North London go into the Premier League and I take the fixtures of a team that you would expect to finish towards the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
So last year, I think it was Burnley.
The cats in the background here are just like going mad.
She's just talking the whole. She's been doing this all day.
If there's any cat whisperers listening, please tell us what she's saying.
Could you interpret this for us, please?
Probably shut the fuck up. This is boring.
Yes. So, what was I saying, Miles?
I don't know. Where you go in the league, you replace,
that's
you replace one of the
so
teams.
I take the fixtures of usually a promoted team, and play out those fixtures and put North London's results, where you would be, the one draw and lost, for and against points, into where that would be in the otherwise untouched league.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think, well,
that?
It makes perfect sense to me because I've lived with you for my entire life. So, but yeah, hopefully it makes sense to you guys. If you have any questions, by the way, or anything you'd like to know at all, we're on socials at A Game of No Halves across all social media. Do give us a follow. If there's any questions you need answered, leave us a comment and we will answer them in time.
Right.
Anyway, Bob.
Yes.
To the league. So, first game back of the new year, because I guess we're now into 2017 as things stand.
Yeah.
So, first game of the new year is against Bournemouth at home, and it's a 4-2 victory. Okay. Another worryingly loose defensive performance, it says here, Bob. Right. Another goal conceded from a corner, which was something that you were very much struggling with last episode.
We were talking about this last episode because the team went through a period of time where we were giving away goals from corners almost for fun.
Yeah, and actually, I've had a message from now ex-North London player Ben Granville, who's a friend of mine, because he was in the team as a big number 9 sort of target man, wins a lot of headers.
Yeah.
And I have to say, since he's left the club, we've been conceding goals from corners.
We miss you, Ben.
So, yeah, I'm not saying there's a correlation there, but there's a correlation there.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. So you've made some January signings as well, Bob.
Oh, go on.
Like we said last episode, because...
The other thing is I never researched these stats. So when Mars is going through them, bearing in mind I was playing these matches 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the detail of them all. So I'm as much taken by surprise as what we're hearing as you are.
Yeah. So I think Danilo Cataldi has come in January. Explain who he is.
He's a holding midfield player, Italian.
And is he a real player or somebody that you know?
He's a real player.
Okay.
Yeah. Who never really did fantastically well in the Italian league.
Well, we've looked it up a couple of times, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. He's my Kante.
Okay.
He's that kind of, 7/8 of the world is covered by sea. The rest is covered by Cataldi.
Right. Yeah. So in real life, he plays for Lazio right now.
Yeah.
And he's actually made 188 appearances for them and scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
So he's doing okay.
For me, he's been incredible.
Played 28 games in the league last year, so he's a pretty first choice regular for Lazio in real life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's coming in January, Bob.
Yes.
You've made some outs though as well because it looks like Toklov has gone to China, which I think we briefly looked at last episode. 59.9 million you've got for him.
Yes.
Sam Toklov off to China, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in this game, Bob, the 4-2 against Bournemouth, it says that Cataldi scores a brilliant goal in his first Premiership start.
Brilliant.
You follow that up with a massive game against Chelsea, who are top of the league. And it's away at Stamford Bridge. And I'll read the notes that you made of this, Bob.
Okay.
Because it says here, one of the team's great performances.
Oh, yes.
Complete attacking display with 4-3-3 formation. Seal's best win of the season. It's a 3-1 away win at Stamford Bridge, Bob.
Wow.
And that's a huge result.
It is.
Morata, an own goal.
Yes.
And Neymar, says here, brilliant Neymar volley seals win with team's 50th Premiership goal of the season. A volley. How would you have teed yourself up for a volley?
Well, probably I'd kick it against the wall, sort of high, and it would come back to me, and I'd volley it.
I mean, you've got to have some strong technique to be able to do that, haven't you? Because you're using little size sort of 1 foam footballs, right?
Yeah, this is it.
Bob's holding it up to the camera for those not watching. So to volley that in would be pretty difficult.
The thing is that as we've spoken before, me and Mars, that I would be playing these games so often. I just got good at it. It's like anything you practice.
Yeah.
You just get good at it. And I got really, really good at being able to control. At
smashing in volleys with Neymar.
Yeah. And yes, I did.
Wow, well, there you go. Then, I mean, the big games keep coming because you're away at Man United.
Wow.
And it ends 3-3. What a game. Okay. Sensational in attack, weak in defence. It says here, 2 more goals conceded from corners.
Well,
what is going on, Bob?
What the hell?
You need to get on the training pitch here.
Yeah, really.
Who's the set piece coach at North London at this point in time?
Me.
Well, you need to be bucking up your ideas, I would say.
Yeah, really.
It does say here, though, Neymar's goal, one of the best ever. A bullet from 35 yards into the top right-hand corner.
This would be in the hallway. This would be into the coffee table in the hall.
Yeah, would it?
Yeah.
We'll have to get a video demonstration of you trying to recreate this at some point.
Yeah.
A bullet from 35 yards in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Love it, Bob. So 35 yards. How far back in the hallway are you?
Well, more or less in the sitting room.
Yeah.
Sort of in the doorway of the sitting room. So that would be about 35 yards.
Well,
so would you think that this is a comparable goal to the one that Cristiano scored against Porto?
Maybe,
yeah.
although this is top right-hand corner, so he's kind of curving the opposite direction possibly.
Wow.
But there you go, 3-3.
I'm impressed just hearing about
it. You can imagine it in your head, can't you? You can envisage it. So you're still you're second now, actually, so you haven't moved up a place, but Chelsea's still 5 points ahead of you. So still some ground to be gained. 0-0 at Liverpool in the next game.
Okay.
Then 4-2 win against Arsenal away. Massive result that. Another sensational attacking performance in top-level technical game.
Yes. Well, Arsenal are a top-level technical team, aren't they?
So in North London, clearly.
Yeah.
Although, Bob, 81st minute, it's another corner that you've conceded. I don't know what's going on with
this patch. I think it was because Freddie Haynes is not that tall, is he?
No.
And he's Godin in centre defence.
Yes, it is.
See, they're not. They're about 6 foot, both of them. They're not taller.
Godin's, he was good in the air, but I suppose you haven't got that real dominant presence.
No, and now Ben Granville's gone. That's it, really.
It's really paying dividends him moving. So here, Bob, it says the next game is a 4-0 win against Burnley. A Paul Pogba hat-trick, by the way.
Yeah.
Much changed team produced wave after wave of high-tempo attacking football, according to this. And this must be Sam Toklov's last game before he moves to China.
Okay.
Heavily involved in Pogba's hat-trick goal. Sad to see Sam Toklov leave, Bob, because so you've got the overall goal scorers list in front of you there, haven't you? Where in the list is he?
Second.
Second?
Yeah.
No.
73 goals in the Premier League. 42 in Europe.
Wow.
34 in the various FA Cups and Carabao Cups and 7 in the World Club Championship.
Blimey.
156 goals in total.
Prolific. Yeah. And you let him go to China.
Well, I suppose it was the money.
Well, 60 million, I suppose. Back then as well.
Yeah.
Although 16, 17, 60 million, it would have got you a lot, wouldn't it?
How old was he? It was say his age and the.
Let's have a look here, shall we?
There we are. There he is. He's 31.
Oh, okay. That's probably because he transferred.
Oh God, it's
You've relegated him.
Detail.
Yeah.
But once they've been sold, their record for the season still exists.
Yeah, but
I take away their number and I put a line, and they're under that line.
Yeah.
So he'd scored. He hadn't scored a goal actually.
Oh, he didn't score in the season.
In that season.
So,
but he was 31 years old.
You're cashing in.
£59 million for a 31-year-old.
You're cashing in, aren't you? Yeah. It's like Saudi Arabia these days, I suppose, when they come in for ruthless. I know, no loyalty, Bob.
None
the second top scorer ever. For North he's just shipped off straight away when a big.
Do you know who is the top scorer? I mean, we're going to review this a little more in detail, but top scorer ever.
Well, I know because I've looked at it, but actually, Bob. So this is interesting because since you've been doing the podcast, the top goal scorer of North London ever. Hasn't featured heavily, really, because he's an early player.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
Explain to everybody who this guy is then.
Wes Dexter. Well, he's the son of Jeff Dexter.
Yeah.
The greatest DJ who never broadcast.
Okay.
Jeff was the DJ in London at an amazing hippie club called Middle Earth.
Was it named after...
Tolkien.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
And
I respect it.
Yes. It was in a big warehouse in the middle of Covent Garden every weekend in the basement, huge liquid light shows projecting onto the walls. They had Kenneth Anger films.
What's a liquid light show?
Have you not seen them?
Well, I'm thinking of a lava lamp. But
no. Okay, so a liquid light show is a projector.
Yeah.
And you have a little sort of lens thing.
Okay.
That you slot down into a slot. So
the
lights of the projector shine through.
Yeah.
This oily coloured sort of liquid,
which
then
moves
begins to sort of melt.
Yeah.
So all the colours begin to meld into one another and they start to move around.
So completely
and you project
trippy.
that and they're like bubbles of colour. And
So I can only imagine.
It is far out.
Yeah. Everybody's stoned as hell at Middle Earth watching this Liquid Light show.
Yeah.
I'm sensing how it might have been. But so Jeff Dexter was a DJ
Jeff was
there.
also the compere and part organizer of the Isle of Wight Festival in '68.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He was amazing, Jeff. In those days, I mean, he tiny little long blonde hair and sort of wizard-like clothes, bright colours, and
baggy sleeves.
So his son. So Jeff and I, when I was living in West Hampstead, because Jeff lives in West Hampstead, used to see each other quite a bit. Go up onto the heath, and his son Wes and some of the friends and me and Jeff used to kick a football around.
So you scouted him
so
from
I
a
sort
young
of
age.
scouted him. So when I moved into here, and North London started, I sort of brought Wes with me.
There you go.
And he was the apex of my attack.
Wow. So when did he leave or retire? Do you think? We could probably find out if we go back.
If we went back, yeah. But I think when we'd started this, he was still around. wasn't he?
Yeah.
So we started. The actual finished stats begin in the year 2000. So, but the less comprehensive stats go right back into the 90s. And so he scored 90 goals in the Premier League, 43 in Europe, 16 in the Cups, and 12 in the World Club Championships, which gives him a total 161 goals in total.
And how many did Toklev get altogether?
156.
Oh, all right. There's 5 goals in it. Man.
Yeah.
So where's Dexter?
And then third is Freddie Haynes.
Of course it is. From centre-back.
my attacking centre-back.
Well, we discovered last week he scored a banger pretty much every single game, didn't he?
And he's the highest scorer in the Premier League.
From centre-back.
Outrageous. 105 goals.
What we'll do, Bob,
Yeah.
so considering next week is the last episode of the series,
Yes.
I think what we should do, right, is get you to come up with your all-time North London 11. All right?
Okay.
So
I will research this one.
Okay.
Because just to do it off the top, we're going to miss everybody. So if I begin to, how, for example, let's just take the number 10.
Yeah.
Right? How can you decide between Zidane, Pogba, Riquelme, and Dan Olsen?
Dan Olsen.
How can you possibly make that choice?
No, I know. Well, Dan Olsen's recent though, isn't he? Because I don't think actually in the season we're in on the show right now, he's in the team yet, is he?
No.
So maybe you have to go back.
And Jude Bellingham.
Yeah. Who looks like he's back to full form at Real Madrid, doesn't he, in real life?
Well, the only time Jude Bellingham didn't look like Jude Bellingham was in the Euros.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, I did see some stuff coming out of Spain that he wasn't quite on the absolute top level, sort of into the last third of the La Liga season. I think maybe he just got burnt out.
I think that's true. And of course, when you're talking about the number 9, you can't discard Erling Haaland.
No. Well, we'll have to decide
this is going to be one hell of a...
Yeah, you'll have to decide on the formation, because do you stick with your 4-2-3-1 or do we change it up to accommodate more players?
Well,
more number 10s.
Something else about this. I was talking to Miles when we very first started this series, about the fact that one of my early lineups, formations, was 3-2-2-3.
Yeah.
And
so it's essentially a 5-2-3 though, right? Because I guess you've got wing backs that can come into to make a 5 if you need to.
Or the centre, almost the 2 holding midfield players, if you like.
Drop into the defence.
3-2, those come back into defence.
And then the 2...
But they're not defenders as such.
Yeah, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then you have got 2 number 10s and then 2 wide players and a centre forward. Which, if you notice now, a lot of the Premier League teams are beginning to adopt something similar to that.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Ahead of my time, I was.
Trailblazer is you, Bob.
Yeah.
Nice one. As
I said right at the beginning, I taught Pep all he knows.
Yeah, of course. So next week, make sure you tune in for the finale of the season, because Bob's going to choose his all-time North London 11, which I'm very excited for. Also, we'd love some fan interaction. So for next week, if you could go on our Instagram, we'll put a poll up on our Instagram story at A Game of No Halves, because we want you to vote for the greatest North London player of all time.
Wow.
Right? We'll put some options.
Yes.
We've had, I suppose you'd have to whittle it down to 4 options, Bob, if you're going to choose the greatest North London player ever.
Zidane would be one, wouldn't he?
I mean, Freddie Haynes has got to be in there, isn't he, right?
Yeah, Kaká, maybe Tristan. There's God.
Where's Dexter? Surely the top scorer of all time. He's got to be there somewhere.
I think you need
Ian Giggs, Sam Toklub, Dylan,
Giggs,
me,
Eric Cantona.
I mean, I've got to be in goal, the all-time 11.
Yes, you have.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, there we go.
Is it very cool or very uncool to be drinking tea out of my own?
your own mug, literally. It's your mug on a mug.
This is Stanley Chow, by the way.
He did the artwork for our podcast.
Yes, he did.
The Game of the Halves. All right. Anyway, back into the results. Bob.
Yes.
Not great, the next game.
Oh, really?
It's a 2-1 defeat to Leicester.
Oh, okay.
Jamie Vardy with 2, apparently, according to this. Pogba gets a goal. It's your first Premier League defeat of the season.
How many games are we in?
30.
30.
Well, actually, 28, I guess.
Okay.
But you're 8 points behind
I have
Chelsea.
a feeling that this heralds a bit of a dip in form.
Really? Well, we shall see, won't we?
Yeah.
All right. Next game is against Swansea.
Okay.
2-0 win. Neymar and Morata.
Okay.
Then a 0-0 draw Everton.
Yes.
Means, so you've played 29 games and you've got 62 points. Chelsea have played 30 and they're on 72. This is looking unassailable to me.
It does.
Let's find out what's happening in Europe.
Okay.
Alongside this. So, yeah, we just got to the end of the group stage, Bob. You finished top of the group, 4 points ahead of Porto.
Okay.
And you were drawn in the last 16 against Sevilla.
Okay.
Where you lose the first leg 3-2.
Okay. Is this the little dip in form that I was talking about?
Maybe. Attacking substitutions and poor game management cause second successive European defeat.
Wow.
Because you lost the last game of the group stage as well, Bob. Yeah, that's true.
Did I by any chance substitute somebody for Dylan?
Yeah.
Do you know, I kind of remember this match.
So it's Dylan's fault that you lost, basically.
Did he? No, he left the field, didn't he?
No, he came on.
He came on.
For Neymar.
For Neymar.
But it was in the 85th minute.
Right.
So it was actually, Sevilla had already scored all 3 of their goals before that moment.
But game management, I seem to remember that I just got too casual.
Yeah,
on
the
this
substitutions you made, Griezmann came off for Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Aubameyang came off for Morata. And Neymar, who'd scored from a corner, actually, came off for Dylan in the 85th minute. Anyway, it leaves it all to do in the second leg, Bob. That was away from home.
Right. And what was the final score again?
3-2.
3-2.
So the second leg.
2 away goals, though.
Yeah. The second leg. North London 6. Sevilla 0. Tell us, Freddie Haynes hat-trick.
Yes.
Aubameyang and Pogba says one of the great European performances. Begin nervously, but Haynes takes control. And 3 goals in 8 minutes decide the tie. Teller scores from a Griezmann cross. Haynes second, a superb team goal. The final line of this is my favourite. Pogba completes scoring with superb free kick. Jubilant scenes.
Jubilant scenes. You know, honestly, there were times when I would be kicking the ball and I'd just get lost in the space of it. And but really lost. So I was right in the and so moments like that where it had all come together. it almost in any kind of sporting arena. You remember these things, and certainly at the time you react to them. And when you're hitting a ball and you're thinking, "I want to try and hit that tiny postage stamp," and you hit it,
yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's a great feeling, isn't
and that was what
sport. I honestly think is the only thing in the world that gives you that feeling. Yeah. I had a nearly moment when I was playing 5-a-side last week, possibly or the week before. There was a corner. So it's not really 5-a-side. In fact, I think it might have been 7 or 8-a-side. But we were playing on a fairly full-size pitch. Anyway, a corner came in. It came over my head. And I did it was kind of like a Zlatan thing. It came over my head with my right foot. I hooked it with like a back heel on the volley. Right. And it hit the bar and bounced on the line and came back out.
Oh, no.
It honestly would have been the most incredible goal ever. Oh. If there was VAR, it might have crossed the line. I don't know. But anyway, it was so.
But you got a fantastic goal last week. Anyway,
I score them all the time, Bob.
Of course you do.
No, I actually don't. My knees have gone.
Knees have gone.
Yeah, I used to be. Well, I mean, if I'm pain free, I can still hit a ball. But that used to be pretty much the only thing I could do, to be honest, on the football pitch was strike a ball really hard.
Yeah,
I did score some good goals, but Yeah, nowadays I'm about to start seeing a personal trainer because I want to strengthen my knees because they hurt.
Wow, Miles.
Anyway,
Wow.
digressions aside.
Yes.
Quarterfinals, Bob. You're drawing
Yep.
against Atletico Madrid.
Yep.
And you draw 0-0 in the first leg away from home. Defensive lineup delivers possession masterclass. Apparently.
I used to love doing this. Just kicking the ball around just to keep possession, just constantly just kicking, pass and go.
Yeah.
Give and go. There was a manager in the 50s called Stan Cullis, who was manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And that he was, when you think, I mean, just look at the pitches that English players used to play on years ago.
I know.
And the whole idea of finesse never came into anybody's mind.
No.
But there were some exceptions. Obviously, Matt Busby for Manchester United, but Stan Cullis for Wolves. And his little motto was give and go. So you get the ball, I'd give it to you, I'd move straight away to make myself available in some sort of space. And when you see some of the little triangles now that obviously come off the training pitch when you're watching a match, they're all of them. They're giving the ball to and then moving to get a return. And then that person moves to get a return. And what you're doing is you're constantly maneuvering to open up space somewhere else on the pitch. And so if you're doing all this round and you're drawing backline defenders in, at some stage or another, it's possible there'll be space in their left back position. If you're drawing everybody, that's the time for the crossfield ball. To pick out our right winger. So Stan Cullis was he was in a funny sort of way, the prime mover in introducing this idea at the time.
When was this?
1958 sort of time.
Okay.
Look him up, see exactly when he was.
Okay.
Because Robert Plant's team is Wolves. And actually, so is Susie Perry's. Stan Cullis,
Stan Cullis, the master of Molineux.
Master of Molineux,
apparently. June 1948, he became the manager.
Okay.
But he said Cullis led Wolves to 2 more titles, 57-58 and 58-59.
Yeah.
They narrowly missed a hat-trick in 59-60, losing by 1 point to Burnley.
Yeah. He was way ahead of his time. And of course, at that point, 58-59, United were in the process of recovering from the Munich air disaster. So,
well, there you go. So,
does it say anything about his methods, his play?
During his term as manager between 1948 and 1964, he was there for a long time. What was that, 18 years, 16 years? Wolves became one of the strongest teams in the English game, winning the league title on 3 occasions and playing a series of high-profile friendly matches against top European sides, which acted as a precursor to the European Cup. What about that?
He was way ahead of his time.
Stan Cullis. He's got a statue outside Molineux and everything. So amazing. Well, there you go, Bob. So this is a Stan Cullis-esque 0-0 by the sounds of it. And then in the second leg, a 4-0 thumping at home. Another sensational attacking performance, topped by a brilliant team goal to set up Neymar for a 4th goal screamer.
Fourth goal screamer. So what's the lineup then?
So it's a 4-2-3-1. I'm in goal. Decilio, Godin, Haynes, and Tellez at the back. Weber and Cataldi in defensive midfield with Griezmann, Pogba, and Neymar in behind Aubameyang.
Right.
So that was the team.
The way that the team has evolved has been through organic transfers in and out. Oh, hi.
There's a cat.
Yes, I guess I am.
So it's evolved over the years, and it evolves to a semi-final draw against Real Madrid, Bob, in the semi-finals.
Semi-final against Real Madrid.
That's big.
And obviously I didn't lapse into that dip in form, did I?
No, I guess not.
No.
And definitely not with the next game coming up, because you beat West Ham 4-0 at home. Extraordinary game.
Go on. It's so funny.
Godin sent off in the 14th minute.
Godin sent off?
Yeah. What happened there? No idea?
No, because sometimes if there's, and I can see as I've kicked the ball against the sofa or something and it comes back to me, and it's kind of a 50-50 ball.
You're overcommitting.
And if I go in with my foot high or something, to try and get it, reaching for it, and I think that's probably what happened, quite frankly. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Godin got sent off, so you replaced Aubameyang with Freddie Haynes to play a 4-3-2 formation without strikers.
4-3-2.
Catch West Ham with brilliant counter-attack to take the lead, and then dominate with performance of huge energy and intensity. 3 of your 4 goals were scored from corners.
Well, corners are featuring
I don't know.
large.
Yeah, I wonder if you just suddenly...
on both sides.
Suddenly adopted some weird technique with your corner taking.
Yeah.
It just seemed to
See,
work.
what the corners worked by me taking. Okay, so there's another table, low coffee table in the sitting room.
Yeah.
And obviously it's the legs, and there's the crossbar, and so I would take a corner kick from the left across the front, and there's a buffet that sits at an angle by a chair.
Yeah.
And so if I hit the buffet at exactly the right angle, it would cannon into the back of the net.
Yeah, and that's what's been happening on a regular occurrence this season.
I got so accurate with it. That's
I guess.
what happens.
So, next game against Middlesbrough at home, and it's a flat performance against an ultra defensive Middlesbrough team.
Mm-hmm.
Aoife Rahmani makes first team debut.
That long ago.
Was it? Yeah, 2016, so 2017.
Wow.
So who's Aoife Rahmani?
He was a young lad I saw play on Stephen. Wait, I'll say that. He was a young lad I saw play on our village green one day.
And you just like the look of him?
Yeah.
So you signed him up?
So I signed him up.
So how old is he at this point? Is he in the... Oh, yeah, he's 18.
18.
18 years old.
That's amazing.
First team debut in a 1-0 win. Paul Pogba penalty in the 88th minute.
Okay.
Secures that. Then, big game against Man City away, and it ends 3-2 to North London. Massive stuff. Neymar in the 92nd minute wins it.
So I must be closing in on Chelsea now.
So, well, 32 games played.
Yes.
Chelsea are top on 75.
Yes.
You are actually third because you and Spurs are joint second, but you've got a worse goal difference on 71.
Wow.
So they're 4 points clear with 6 games left of the season.
Right.
So it is...
It's closed up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Spurs have got a better goal difference. I wonder why that is.
Don't know. This must have been the season they would literally just pipped the title, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, moving forward.
Back in the room.
You kind of need to win everything really now, don't you, to stand a chance of catching up with Chelsea.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the next game is a 0-0 draw with Watford. Which might put the kibosh on the league charge. Away at Stoke City, though, a 2-0 win with Morata scoring both goals there.
Right.
And then a 1-0 away win at Southampton with Pogba scoring. Totally dominated the game, but Aubameyang misses 5 chances.
Only 5.
Plus twice hits woodwork. So it means that 35 games played, Bob.
Yes.
You are on 78 points.
Yes.
Chelsea have played 37 and they're on 90.
Oh, well, that's it then, isn't it? Blimey.
So I think that might be it. So you've got 3 games left and there's, 12 points to make up. So
it's not going to happen.
It's done.
No.
Chelsea winning the league. I can't believe it. Let's see if you can regain some form in the Champions League, there, Bob, because we don't end the season empty-handed, do we?
No.
Semi-finals.
Well,
then.
what about the cups?
So the cups.
Yes.
There's still a few games left of the league season as well. But cup-wise, let's have a look here. League Cup, you were knocked out in the 4th round.
By?
Stoke City.
Stoke City. Not Swindon Town.
Not Swindon, no. The FA Cup.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here. The 3rd round, you get drawn against Swansea, and it's a 3-0 win.
Okay.
4th round, Wigan, and it's a 3-0 win.
Okay.
The 5th round, Blackburn Rovers.
Yes.
And it's a 3-1 win.
Okay. Quite consistent scoring here.
The quarterfinals, Chelsea.
Yes.
And it's a 3-3 draw, so it goes to a replay.
Okay.
Which you win 3-1.
Right. Scoring 3 in every match so far.
Yeah. Spurs.
Yes.
In the semi-final.
Yes.
And it's a 3-2 win.
3 again.
Yeah.
So we're in the final.
So you're in the final against Arsenal.
Right.
So we'll find out that shortly as well.
Okay.
Europe.
And the Carabao Cup then, I get knocked out?
4th round.
4th round
by Stoke.
By Stoke, right.
Yeah. So Europe then. Semi-final first leg against Real Madrid, away from home, and it's a 1-0 defeat.
Right.
Which leaves it all to do in the second leg.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Do you do it, Bob? What do you think?
I don't know.
North London 4, Real Madrid 2. You have done it.
Wow. 4-3 on aggregate.
This sounds like dirty tactics to me, Bob, because the first note here is Ronaldo injured in tackle with Haynes 10 minutes into the match. So I think you've gone out of your way to crop Ronaldo out the game to give you a chance to win.
Would I ever do anything like that? Freddie Haynes is better than that.
Freddie Haynes has chopped him down in the 10th minute and you've gone on to win. Yes. Cataldi, massive first half, but then makes a mistake that lets Real back into the game. Morata goal, result of brilliant work by Griezmann. And this is your 300th European game, Bob. So Neymar, Cataldi, Morata, and Freddie Haynes pops up with a goal.
Wow. Is all that information, all those stats in the summary of that match?
Unbelievable. Anyway, so you're in the final.
Yeah.
And you're in the final against Juventus.
Oh, okay.
So you've got the league is
We're
done.
favourites against Juventus.
Would you say? Yeah. So the league is kind of over. But you're in the final of the FA Cup and the final of the Champions League. So the last 3 games of the Premier League season, Bob.
Right.
Play Sunderland at home and you absolutely thwack them 6-0.
Okay.
Freddie Haynes gets 2 more goals. Morata gets 2 and James Rodriguez gets 2.
I wonder how many he scored that season, Freddie Haynes. Well,
We'll find out. Following that, away at Crystal Palace, it's a 2-2 draw. Exhausted team played 2 days after Champions League semi-final win against Real Madrid. So that might be why. Start brightly but tire in the second half. Wrong substitution, it says here. Romani instead of Dylan. So you clearly weren't happy with Romani coming off the bench instead of Dylan there.
No.
After huge pressure to concede the late goal that leaves team third going into the final game of the season. But actually, Bob, the final game of the season is against Spurs and they've already claimed second place. So you are finishing third.
Wow.
Unbelievable. That final game, so it's a bit superfluous really, but you do win 3-2. Pogba, Green and Griezmann. And it says here that David Bennett is making his last Premier League appearance for the club.
Wow.
What a servant, though.
What a servant.
I think he'd probably make the all-time 11, would he? As left back.
And let's just see how many he got. Okay, so he finished up with exactly 50 goals.
Half century. Nicely done. From left back.
From left back. Yeah. 28 in the Premier League. 15 in Europe. Wow. 5 in the various cups and 2 in the World Club Championships.
Well, there you go.
And he, like Freddie Haynes, attacked from the back.
yeah.
So he was an inverted fullback. This is why I keep saying I taught Pep everything he knows. Because this whole idea of inverted attacking fullbacks, David Bennett was playing in this style in the year 2000.
Well,
see,
it's there's proofs in the pudding, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you finished the league in third. Unbelievable. Chelsea absolutely walk it with 93 points. Spurs on 86, North London on 85. So that's how it finishes. So FA Cup final then, Bob.
Yes.
You're against Arsenal.
I'm excited by this, actually.
Final score?
Yes.
North London 4, Arsenal 0.
Whoa.
What a result,
Well, that's a
Bob.
comprehensive win, isn't it?
Comprehensive. So you have the FA Cup.
Yes.
And you're in the final of the Champions League against Juventus.
Right.
1 trophy down. Is there 1 to go?
Yes.
North London 3, Juventus 0.
Oh, yes.
Aubameyang, Neymar and Pogba beat an excellent Juventus side with complete performance. It says Aubameyang slams home after rebounds off the woodwork. Neymar far post goal from brilliant De Chilio cross. Pogba wraps up the game with 20-yard shot into the bottom left-hand corner.
There we go.
That is crazy.
That is amazing,
detail.
isn't it?
So there we go. So
what were the final scorers list then from Europe?
So, in all competitions, Bob, Paul Pogba is your top scorer with 28 from midfield. Aubameyang got 24. Neymar got 23.
Yes.
Griezmann got 15. Freddie Haynes and Morata got 14 each.
Right.
In Europe, Neymar was your top scorer with 7.
Okay.
But Pogba, top scorer, wow, with 28. That's unbelievable.
I thought that he was... The potential that he had was fantastic.
Yeah.
The whole turning point, it seemed to me, almost the career turning point with Paul Pogba was the disagreement he had with Mourinho on the training pitch when Mourinho said something to him, which nobody knows, but it had such an impact on him.
Yeah.
And it was kind of that he was never quite the same in club performances from then on.
Yeah.
He was still brilliant for France, but it never really... Well, it was the brilliant France Pogba that played for North London. And when he was at his very, very best, he was almost unstoppable.
Well, there you go.
Know.
Anyway, Bob...
And now look.
I know. It is really sad. One of the best players to watch ever, Pogba, and it's just... sad how it's all wound up with him. Anyway, Champions League and the FA Cup. So not a bad season, really.
Well, no.
Third in the league is the lowest I think I've seen you finish in a long time, though.
Yeah.
But 2 trophies to show for it. I think it's a pretty good season, all things told. Bob, what do you reckon?
Good. Yeah, no, I'm happy. I mean, anytime I win the Champions League...
It's always good.
So there should be.
Yeah.
Is there at the end of this a sort of overall thing of the Champions League or not? Possibly not.
So actually, there were quite extensive stats at the end of this season for some reason.
Yeah.
Overall Premier League scorers at this point, Dylan was top of that.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. This is quite interesting.
Okay.
So it says, so you've got a Premier League record, Bob.
Okay.
Since 2001 to 2002.
Okay.
Actually, we'll end on this.
Yeah.
So, second, champions. Second, champions. Second, champions. Third, second, champions. second, champions, second, champions, second, champions, third.
Wow. So you've never outside the top three.
But you've also not won the league 2 seasons in a row. Yeah. Since these records began. That's interesting. Look.
Oh.
And your top points total ever, you got 97 points in 04-05.
Right.
Which is the most up until this
It's
point.
usually around the 86, 87 mark. Is that right?
You had 85 this year, 87 when you won it last season,
Yeah.
83, 87, 87, 91, 81.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, but that's interesting. Not won the league two seasons in a row since 2000.
That's it. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Shows how tough it is, Miles.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that City have won it bloody 4 times in a row in real life, haven't they? They better not win it again
Not
this
in
year.
the world of North
No,
London.
I know.
man.
It'd be so boring if City win the league again this year. I can't be arsed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I reckon, Bob, let's round off this show
Okay.
on one more Football Pointless
Oh, okay.
before we come back with the season finale next week, shall we?
Yes, and the top scorers.
Yeah,
oh my
and
goodness.
also your all-time 11, which I'm very excited to hear how this goes down.
Okay, I'm going to just, because I've got the stats in front of me, Miles,
Yep.
just before we do Football Pointless, of Eric Cantona, Ben Harris, and Figo, who would you say got the most?
Testing me.
Right, yeah, who got the most goals? Cantona, Ben Harris, or Figo? And you can't look.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, this is the wrong stats.
It's the wrong stats.
It's got Cantona, right? I say? No?
No.
Who is it?
No, it's Figo.
Figo, really?
Yeah, Figo got 80, Cantona got 79, and Ben got 78.
There you go, Luis Figo. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's grab a Football Pointless, shall we?
By the way, during the week, there's an Instagram account that shows you all the great moments from Riquelme.
Yes.
Because
Who started following
Riquelme,
me?
he's got to be very, very close to, if not actually in, the top North London team of all time.
You always go on about him being the most brilliant signing, so surely it makes way in there, wouldn't it?
But I found an account on Instagram that shows you the Riquelme great moves and goals and everything. I sent it to Miles, didn't I?
Yeah. And I think if it's the same account, because I on Expired Film Club got followed by a Riquelme account recently. Riquelme Football 10. They've got 685,000 followers, by the way.
Of course they have.
So if you want to check out some Riquelme brilliance, Riquelme Football 10.
See, I signed him for North London at exactly the time that he'd just been rejected by Argentina. And I think he wanted to move club or something, but there didn't seem to be a lot of interest in him at the time, just at that moment.
Yeah.
So I just snapped him up because I thought he's got a point to prove. And he was with North London for 2 seasons. And from midfield, he scored 39 goals. He got 30 in the Premier League.
Wow.
6 in Europe, 4 in the Cups and 2 in the World Club Championship.
Unbelievable
And
return.
he was fabulous.
Yeah.
He was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
I loved this because he really did give it everything for North London for the 2 seasons he was there.
Yeah. So, well, with Argentina in our minds then, Bob, let's have an Argentinian Football Pointless.
Okay.
Let me just find it because I have one pop up. Okay, here we go.
Right.
Play along at home, guys. Most obscure correct answer wins. Okay.
Yes.
Name any Argentinian player to score 15 or more goals in the Premier League. And I guess that's overall, so not just in one season, but overall, 15 or more.
It's Premier League, isn't it?
So you've got, obviously, Aguero.
Yes. You've got Garnacho now, of course.
He wouldn't have scored 15 yet, I don't think.
No.
Crespo?
Possibly. That's a good shout. I like Crespo's.
Would Mascherano have scored more than 15? Probably not. Thinking of Argentinian. Who's the one that was at West Ham? Lanzini. He must have scored 15. I would have thought.
Go for it.
I'm going to say Lanzini. Yeah, I reckon he has. Argentinians.
Tevez.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I feel like he'll be quite voted for.
Yeah,
probably, won't he?
I would say so. How many are there altogether, do you say?
10.
10. Blimey. I mean, when you go back further, there's Ozzy Ardiles and Ricky Villa.
But
they're in the first
pre-Premier
division,
League.
yeah.
But no, Ardiles I feel like would have played in the Premier League, possibly. Argentinians. There have been a lot of Argentinian defenders. Zabaleta, would he have scored 15? Possibly not. Colaccini, from him? I don't think he would have scored 15. Argentinians.
Wow.
Di Maria played in the Premier League briefly for us, didn't he? But I don't think he would have scored 15. I don't think he would. He was poo for us.
Because you just gave him was there for a
He
minute.
hates United as well. Have you seen all the quotes? Since he left us, he hates United.
Oh, really?
And as a result, I hate him.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's go for
Lanzini?
Lanzini.
I think that might be the most
Lanzini.
pointless.
Yes.
We're going to be kicking ourselves. I can guarantee there's answers we've not thought of here. They're going to be much better.
Yeah.
But we're going to lock in Lanzini. So the most obscure answer wins then, Bob.
It would be Rakame, of course.
Yes. But he never played in the Premier League, did he?
Well, he did for North London.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go.
Okay.
Lanzini, I'm locking in. If we had longer, I would think of some more. But here we go. So lowest amount of points is good here, Bob. Right, here we go. Sergio Aguero is the most voted for with 90.
Of course. 90.
Yeah.
Wow.
Carlos Tevez with 81.
Yep.
Julian Alvarez, of course, who's just gone to Atletico.
Yeah.
63.
Yep.
Alexis McAllister for Liverpool, to be fair, 42. Hernan Crespo, 29.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Lanzini, 20.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Eric Lamela, of course, 18. Leonardo Ulloa for Leicester. Do you remember in the title-winning season he scored goals for them with 14? Maxi Rodriguez with 3. He played for Liverpool briefly.
Okay.
And a pointless answer in this one would have been Roberto Pereira.
For Swindon Town.
Yeah, imagine. I think he played for Watford when he was in the Premier League. But 20 for Lanzini, I don't think
that's not bad.
That's
at
not
all.
too bad. Let us know your score in the comments,
that
guys.
That goes on top of our 6 and 5 in the last.
We've been doing well.
We've been
last
doing
few
quite
weeks.
well.
I think that's okay. That 20. Yeah, there we go. Well, we'll round off the episode there. Let us know your pointless scores in the comments if you're listening. And otherwise, Bob, I think that rounds us off. And so next week is the season finale of A Game of No Halves. You can't miss it, guys.
We're going to be doing
Wembley. It is. We're going to be doing the all-time North London 11 according to Bob.
Yes.
So you better get your thinking cap on between now and then.
I'm going to have a real good think.
Yep.
And put options, and then we can choose from the options.
Okay. Yeah. Because I guess we can have some subs as well, couldn't we? Just to
we have a big subs bench.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're doing
subs bench.
we'll be doing that next week. We're just reviewing everything North London history, going through the results that we've been through so far, and all of that sort of stuff. So please do tune in next week because we don't want to miss you for that, because I think it's going to be a momentous episode. Any parting words, Bob? For anybody?
It'll be sweet sadness.
Bittersweet, won't it?
Bittersweet.
The end of the series. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Is that your parting word?
That's my parting word, yes.
It's going to be a bittersweet symphony.
Yes.
Thanks for listening and for watching, guys. Follow us on socials, rate us 5 stars, and subscribe if you're enjoying. And we'll see you for the season finale next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.